Hello everyone. Now, I have already made a video of William Shakespeare. In that video, I was discussed about the biography, simple or short biography of William Shakespeare, his some important works, his different types of folio. There are four types of folio: first, second, and third, and fourth folio, and the literary period of William Shakespeare. Now, this is the second sequel. This is the sequel of my first video, William Shakespeare, or this video is about the works of William Shakespeare, the chronology of William Shakespeare, and other important points of his. Now let's start with the chronology of Shakespeare's play कि सबसे पहले क्या पब्लिश हुआ था और उसके बाद क्या. And this chronology was presented by A.K. Chambers in 1930. There are so many people, you can say different type of novelists or pupils who had made the chronologies of William Shakespeare. So original of or official chronology is not present at that time. So different pupils find out, or different pupils said different chronology of William Shakespeare. So this chronology is presented by E.K. Chambers. So the first is Henry VI Part 2, second work Henry VI Part 3, then Henry VI Part First, Richard III, The Comedy of Errors, The Antonius, The Taming of the Shrew, The Two Gentlemen of Verona, Love Labour Lost, Romeo and Juliet, Richard II, A Midsummer Night Dream, King John, The Merchant of Venice, William IV Part 1, William IV Part 2, Much Ado About Nothing, Henry V, Julius Caesar, As You Like It, Twelfth Night, Hamlet, The Merry Wives of Windsor, Troilus and Cassandra, All Well That's End Well, Measure for Measure, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth, Antony and Cleopatra, Coriolanus, Timon of Athens, Persiles the Prince of Tyre, and Cymbeline. So this is the chronology of William Shakespeare. There are some other works are left, like The Winter's Tale, The Tempest, Henry VIII, and The Two Noble Kingsmen. And in my last video, I had discussed that the last tragedy was The Tempest. Now, the modern complete work of Shakespeare means uh, some modern works of Shakespeare. It means there are many scholars tried who had tried to collaborate to who had tried to gather the works of William Shakespeare. So there are six famous. You can say that the gathering of William Shakespeare's work. The first is the Riverside Shakespeare. The first main major work is the Riverside Shakespeare. It was edited by G. Blackmore Evans in 1974 with the second edition in 1996. The Riverside Shakespeare um, is a um, is a gathering of William Shakespeare's work, and which was edited by Blackmore Evans, and its second edition was published in 1996. So in this edition uh, विलियम शेक्सपियर की वर्क्स इसमें हमें देखने को मिलते हैं. द सेकेंड एडिशन इज द ऑक्सफोर्ड शेक्सपियर, द कंप्लीट वर्क विच वाज edited by Stanley Wells, Gary Taylor, John Jowett, and William Montgomery in 1986, and it has a second edition in 2005. Then the third है the Northern Shakespeare, which was based on Oxford edition, और Oxford edition के ऊपर ही based है ये, which was edited by Stephen Greenblatt, Walter Coben, Jane E. Howard, Catherine Isaman Moss in 1997, and its second edition was published in 2008. Then the Ardent Shakespeare, complete works this edition is complete work of Shakespeare, which was edited by Richard Proudfoot and Thompson, David Scott Caston in 1998, second edition in 2002, and it has also third edition which was published in 2011. Now the fifth edition is the complete Penicillin Shakespeare, edited by Stephen Orgel and A.R. Braunmüller in 2002. Now, the last edition, the RCB Shakespeare, which was edited by Jonathan Battle and Eric Rasmussen in 2007. So you have to learn only the name of the edition. There is no need to write to learn the who published that edition and what the second edition of that edition. It's not need, just you have to learn about the name. You have to learn only the name of the edition. Now the second is dramatic collaboration. It means William Shakespeare wrote so many works alone, and he collaborated with many other novelists and published different type of his work, like dramatic collaboration with different novelists. First, like most playwrights of his period, Shakespeare did not always write alone, and a number of his plays were collaborative, although the exact number is open to debate. It means it's not fixed how much works he wrote with collaboration. The number is unknown. Some of following attributions, such as for the two novel Kingsman, have well attested contemporary documentation. Others, such as Fortunatus Adronius, remain more controversial and are dependent on linguistic analysis of modern scholars. क्योंकि शेक्सपियर के वर्क्स काफ़ी पुराने थे, तो इसमें डिफ़िकल्टी आई थी ये जानने के लिए कि उन्होंने किसके साथ कोलैबोरेशन किया था। इसके लिए स्कॉलर्स ने उनकी जो राइमिंग स्कीम है, जो उनकी राइटिंग स्किल है, अलग-अलग ट्रेजेडीज़, अलग-अलग प्लेज़, अलग-अलग उनके वर्क्स के अंदर, उसको उन्होंने दूसरे जो नॉवलिस्ट हैं उनके वर्क्स में उन्हें सिमिलैरिटी उन्होंने देखी और फिर उन्होंने यह अंदाज़ा लगाया कि विलियम शेक्सपियर ने ये वर्क किसी के साथ उस नॉवलिस्ट के साथ कोलैबोरेशन में लिखा होगा। लाइक फर्स्ट है कार्डिनियो। He either a lost play or one that survives only in later adaptation. Double falsehood. Contemporary reports say that Shakespeare collaborated on it with John Fletcher. यानी कि एक कार्डियो एक वर्क है, इसके अंदर शेक्सपियर ने किसी के साथ कोलैबोरेशन से ये वर्क लिखा था। Cymbeline, in which Yale edition suggests that there was a collaboration of some scenes, misdirect the reader as un-Shakespearean compared with other. It means in Cymbeline play there are some scenes which is not resemble to Shakespearean style. So it is supposed that this work that part of the play was written by some other novelist. That's why. Now the Edward III, of which Baron Vicker's recent analysis concluded that the play was 40% Shakespeare and 60% Thomas Kate. Now, fourth, Henry VI, part first, possibly the work of a team of playwrights whose identities we can only guess at. Some scholars argue that Shakespeare wrote less than 20% of the text. Henry VI is work in which it was supposed that the work was written with collaboration of so many novelists, because different type of writing styles can be seen in that work. That's why many scholars conclude that this novel is written by so many novelists. Henry VIII, generally considered a collaboration between Shakespeare and Fletcher. Macbeth, Thomas Middleton may have received this tragedy in 1615 to incorporate extra musical sequence. In Macbeth, there are some musical sequences which is supposed to be written by Thomas Middleton. Now, Measure for Measure may have undergone a little revision by Middleton at some point after its original composition. Bacillus, Prince of Tyrann, may conclude the work of George Wilson either as collaborator, reviser, or revise. Timon of Athens may result from collaboration from Shakespeare and Middleton. This might explain its unusual plot and usually cynical tone. Titus Andronicus may be a collaboration or revision of George Paley, the two novel Kingsmen, published in Quarter in 1634 and attributed to Fletcher and Shakespeare. Each playwright appears to have written about half of the text. So these are the some works which can be said that these works are written by Shakespeare and some other novelist. Now some lost play. There are some lost play of William Shakespeare like Love, Labour and Lost. A late 16th century writer, Francis Maris, and a bookseller's list both include this title among Shakespeare's recent work, but no play of this writer has survived. It may have been it may have become lost and it may represent an alternative title of one of the plays listed above, such as Much Ado About Nothing and All Well That Ends Well. It means कि कुछ ऐसे novels प्लेज हैं उसके जो कि उनके लॉस्ट हो चुके हैं, जैसे कि लव लेवर वॉन. लव लेवर लॉस्ट तो है लेकिन लव लेवर वॉन नहीं है. ऐसे ही मच डू अबाउट नथिंग भी बाद में लॉस्ट प्ले है जो कि बाद में हमें मिले हैं. ऐसे ही कार्डनियो है attributed to William Shakespeare and John Fletcher in a stationery register entry in 1653, alongside a number of erroneous attributions and often believed to have been reworked from a subplot in Cervantes' Don Quixote. In 1727, Louis Theobald Ballet provided a play he called Double Falsehood, which he claimed to have adapted from three manuscripts of lost play by William Shakespeare that he didn't name. क्रांडियो भी एक वर्क है जो कि विलियम शेक्सपियर द्वारा लिखा गया था और इसके बारे में हमको जानकारी जो है वो एक स्टेशनरी रजिस्टर से मिलती है. Now there are some plays which is supposed to be written बाय विलियम शेक्सपियर. इट मीन्स कि कुछ ऐसे नॉवलिस्ट के वर्क में जिस प्रकार अलग अलग नॉवलिस्ट ने शेक्सपियर के वर्क में कोलैबोरेशन किया है, ऐसे ही शेक्सपियर ने भी कोलैबोरेशन किया है और कुछ पार्ट्स जो है वो किसी और नॉवलिस्ट के वर्क्स में लिखे हैं. तो कुछ ऐसे प्लेज हैं जिनमें हमें शेक्सपियर की कोलैबोरेशन हमें देखने को मिलती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अर्डन ऑफ फेवर्शम. द मिडल पोर्शन ऑफ द प्ले मे हैव बीन रिटन बाय शेक्सपियर. Edmund Ironside contain numerous works first used by Shakespeare. Sir Thomas More, a collaborative work by several playwrights including Shakespeare. एक थॉमस मोरे ने कोलैबोरेटिव वर्क लिखा था जिसमें बहुत सारे राइटर्स का उसमें पार्टिसिपेशन था इंक्लूडिंग शेक्सपियर. दिस इज अ ग्रोइंग scholastic consensus that Shakespeare was called in to rewrite a continuous scene in the play and that hand D in the surviving manuscript is that of Shakespeare himself. ऐसे माना जाता है इसमें जो हैंडी पार्ट है जो उसकी मैन्यूस्क्रिप्ट में वो शेक्सपियर ने खुद लिखा है. Now the Spanish tragedy, very important work. Additional passage included in the fourth quarto, including the painter's scene, are likely to have been written by him. Now, famous phrases and statement on Shakespeare. 103 क्वेश्चन मस्ट आस्क्ड जरूर पूछे जाते हैं यूजीसी नेट में और पीजीटी टीजीटी एग्जाम्स में. लाइक रॉबर्ट ग्रीनी ने कहा है कि एन अपस्टार्ट क्रो. बेन जॉनसन कॉल्ड हिम स्मॉल लैटिन लेस ग्रीक, स्वीट स्वान ऑफ एवन एंड नॉट ऑफ एन एज बट फॉर ऑल टाइम इन हिज फर्स्ट वॉल्यूम. मिल्टन स्वीटेस्ट शेक्सपियर फैंसी चाइल्ड. ड्राइडन I admire Ben Jonson but I love Shakespeare and he was the man who of all modern and perhaps ancient poets had the greatest and the most comprehensive soul. Coleridge, our myriad-minded Shakespeare. John Ruskin, Shakespeare has no heroes, only heroines. Pope, if any other author deserved the name of an original, it was Shakespeare. Hazlitt, his play alone are proper expression of the passions, not description of them. His characters are real beings of flesh and blood. They speak like men, not like authors. Dr. Johnson, his tragedy seems to be skill, his comedy to be instinct. Voltaire, a drunken scavenge with some imagination. Long. In a word, he is a universal poet. Some famous Shakespeare haters. One notable critic of Shakespeare was Robert Greene. He was hater of William Shakespeare. He called Shakespeare an upstairs crow. Critic and famous writer Samuel Pepys disliked Shakespeare's play A Midsummer Night Dream, calling it insipid and ridiculous. French philosopher Voltaire was also known to have taken shots at Shakespeare, calling him a drunken scavenge and great fool. So, three most important haters of Shakespeare: Robert Greene, Samuel Pepys, Voltaire. Famous actors of Shakespeare trying actors who acting in his plays. From 1594, only an acting troupe known as Lord Chamberlain's men, later renamed as King's men, performed Shakespeare play. These men were some of the most famous stage actors at the time, and without their performance, Shakespeare's play may have never found their place in history. शेक्सपियर प्ले लिखता था और उनको परफॉर्म किया जाता था. दैट्स वाई शेक्सपियर वाज फेमस. अगर उसके प्ले को पब्लिश और थिएटर में उनको नहीं परफॉर्म किया गया जाता तो वह शेक्सपियर कभी इतना फेमस नहीं हो पाता. सो सम फेमस एक्टर्स वाज रिचर्ड ब्रुगेज, नोन एज द मेथड एक्टर, played the lead roles in many of Shakespeare plays, including Hamlet, Othello, Richard III, King Lear, as well as those written by Ben Jonson. He owned 25% of the global theatre after having helped tear down the old one and rebuilt it. यानी 25% जो ग्लोबल थिएटर का वह उसके पास जाता था. Now, second actor was William Kemp. He was an actor, dancer, singer, and was best known for his comedy work in Shakespeare's play, including the role of Dogberry in Much Ado About Nothing, Falstaff in Henry IV, Peter in Romeo and Juliet, and Cosworth in Love Labour Lost. You don't need to learn द मतलब आपको ज़रूरत नहीं है कि आप ये पढ़ो कि विलियम कैंप ने कौन कौन से रोल प्ले किए हैं, किस प्ले में कौन कौन से रोल उसने परफॉर्म किए हैं. यू हैव टू जस्ट learn the name of the famous actors of William Shakespeare. Now, Henry Condell was one of the 26 actors known to have been in the troupe and co-owned the Global Theatre with John Hemmings and helped edit and publish Shakespeare's first folio without the permission of Shakespeare himself. John Hemmings was also one of the actors in troupe. With Condell, he owned the Globe Theatre and helped him and edit publish Shakespeare's first folio. Now the epitaph written on Shakespeare's tomb, very important. कि क्या एपिटैप लिखा होता है. एपिटैप होता है कि उसकी मरने के बाद जो टॉम पे जो एक वो लिखा जाता है, जो फ्रेज टाइप लिखा जाता है, उसे हम एपिटैप कैप कहते हैं. तो वो था, गुड फ्रेंड्स फॉर जीसस, सिक्स फॉर बियर, टू डिक द डस्ट एनक्लोज्ड हेयर, blessed be the man that spared these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones. So this is the epitaph. So this is all about some important works of William Shakespeare, his chronology of William Shakespeare, some important haters, actors, his different type of folios, and the literary period of William Shakespeare. So that's all for today. Thank you.